Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar, and with me is Tanvi Taneja with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Namami Gange is the largest and a comprehensive river conservation program with a new thinking and a new approach. Prime Minister reassures MSP for crops will continue, emphasizes farm and labour reforms will empower workers, farmers, youth and women. India protests announcement of elections by Pakistan in Gilgit-Baltistan. Asserts Gilgit-Baltistan is an integral part of India. Full Election Commission team to reach Patna this evening to review the poll preparedness for upcoming Bihar Assembly elections. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.01%. In our special series on the occasion of the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we begin this bulletin with Bapu Ki Baat. In his speech, Mahatma Gandhi had said that work is worship.
तो विषय हमारा भगवान कहाँ नेम लिखे तो हमारे कर्मों में ही दिखे। कर्म कैसे कि कुछंद है, स्वच्छंद है, वो तो कोई कर्म नहीं है, उसका नाम कर्म कहा ही नहीं जाता है। कर्म तो एक ही है कि जो यज्ञवत है, यज्ञ समझकर कुछ कर्म करते हैं, तो उसमें तो भगवान की स्थापना हम करते हैं अपने कर्म में।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today inaugurated 6 mega projects in Uttarakhand under the Namami Gange mission through video conference. The projects include construction of a 68 MLD or million litres per day sewage treatment plant, upgradation of the existing 27 MLD at Jagjitpur, and construction of an 18 MLD sewage treatment plant at Sarai in Haridwar. The inauguration of 68 MLD Jagjitpur project marks the completion of the first sewage treatment project taken up on hybrid annuity mode of public-private partnership. The Haridwar-Rishikesh zone contributes about 80% waste-water load into the river Ganga. These plants will play a significant role in keeping the river Ganga clean. In all, 30 projects are now complete in Uttarakhand to manage the pollution from 17 towns near river Ganga. This is a landmark achievement. Addressing the inaugural function, the Prime Minister said that in Uttarakhand, sewage treatment plant capacity has been increased 4 times following the expansion of the sewage system in the state. He said the river Ganga, from its origin in Uttarakhand to the Ganga Sagar in West Bengal, enriches the lives of about half of the country's population, and therefore the cleanliness of the Ganga is necessary. He said his government moved forward with a new thinking and a new approach, and not limiting the Namami Gange mission to only the cleanliness of Ganga, made it the largest and a comprehensive river conservation program in the country.
हमने नमामि गंगे मिशन को सिर्फ गंगा जी की साफ सफाई तक ही सीमित नहीं रखा, बल्कि इसे देश का सबसे बड़ा और विस्तृत नदी संरक्षण कार्यक्रम बनाया। सरकार ने चारों दिशाओं में एक साथ काम आगे बढ़ाया। आज इस चौतरफा काम का परिणाम हम सभी देख रहे हैं। आज नमामि गंगे कार्यक्रम के तहत 30,000 करोड़ रुपए से अधिक की परियोजनाओं पर या तो काम चल रहा है या फिर पूरा हो चुका है।
The Prime Minister informed that the government is developing an organic farming corridor on the bank of River Ganga. He pointed out that the Ministry of Jal Shakti is now engaged in the mission of delivering water to every house in the country, and about 1 lakh families are being connected to pure drinking water facilities every day under the Jal Jeevan mission. Drinking water has been delivered to 2 crore families of the country in just 1 year. He also said that Jal Jeevan Mission has given an opportunity to villagers to look after the water management in their villages. The logo of Jal Jeevan Mission and Margdarshika for Gram Panchayats and Pani Samitis under Jal Jeevan Mission was also unveiled by the Prime Minister.
जल जीवन मिशन भारत के गांवों में हर घर तक शुद्ध जल पाइप से पहुंचाने का ये बहुत बड़ा अभियान है। मिशन का लोगो निरंतर इस बात की प्रेरणा देगा कि पानी की एक एक बूंद को बचाना आवश्यक है.
The other plants inaugurated by the Prime Minister are 26 MLD sewage treatment plant at Lakkadghat in Rishikesh, 5 MLD sewage treatment plant at Chorpani, and 2 plants with capacities of 1 MLD and 0.01 MLD at Badrinath. In Munikireti town, the 7.5 MLD plant in Chandreshwar Nagar will be the first 4-storied sewage treatment plant in the country, where the limitation of land availability was converted into an opportunity. The Prime Minister also inaugurated Ganga Avlokan, the first museum on Ganga dedicated to showcase the culture, biodiversity and rejuvenation activities done in Ganga River. The museum is located at Chandighat, Haridwar. A book, Rowing Down the Ganges, co-published by National Mission for Clean Ganga and Wildlife Institute of India, was launched at the event. Taking a sharp jibe at the opposition today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said their politics is based only on the fundamentals of protest. Speaking after inaugurating 6 mega projects in Uttarakhand under the Namami Gange mission, the Prime Minister said that the opposition does not want farmers to be free in this country. Assuring farmers about the continuity of guaranteed minimum support price and government procurements of agri-produce, he asserted that the opposition should get rid of promoting lies in the public.
एमएसपी लागू करने का काम स्वामीनाथन कमीशन की इच्छा के अनुसार हमारी ही सरकार ने किया. आज ये लोग एमएसपी पर ही किसानों में भ्रम फैला रहे हैं. देश में एमएसपी भी रहेगी और किसानों को कहीं पर भी अपनी उपज बेचने की आजादी भी रहेगी. लेकिन ये आजादी कुछ लोग बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. इनकी काली कमाई का एक और जरिया समाप्त हो गया है, इसलिए इन्हें परेशानी है.
He said major reforms related to the farmers, workers and health have been brought in to empower the workers, farmers, youth and women of the country. He criticized the opposition for launching agitation against the reforms in labour and farm sectors. Our correspondent has the details.
Prime Minister said the opposition, which does not stand either with the farmers, youths or soldiers in the country, is rattled by the thought of losing avenues of getting black money after the new farm bills have been enacted, enumerating instances including opposition's protest and questioning against Jan Dhan accounts, One Nation, One Tax GST system, One Rank, One Pension. Prime Minister asserted that the political party which ruled the country for over 7 decades never favoured revolutionary initiatives. Prime Minister emphatically asserted that the defence forces were waiting for decades for modernised weapons and new fighter jets. He said it is the current government which got the Rafale jets in the country and boosted the morale and capability of Indian soldiers. Mr. Modi affirmed that the government will continue to come up with the schemes to empower the people of the country and urged citizens not to fall prey to the blatant lies propagated by the self-seeking opposition parties. Anand Chaturvedi, AIR News, Delhi.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar today said that agricultural produce market committees are functioning and farmers are selling their produce in the mandis. Refuting the allegations of the opposition that farmers are unable to sell their produce on minimum support price MSP, the minister said the government has announced the MSP of various food grains. He expressed hope that all the farmers of Punjab and Haryana will go to the mandis and sell their produce. On Congress's protest over the recent farm bills, the minister said the Congress has got disconnected from people and has forgotten its promises. Talking to All India Radio News, a farmer from Punjab, Jagdeep Singh, expressed happiness and welcomed the reforms brought in by the government to improve the farm sector.
मेरा नाम जगदीप सिंह, मैं मोहाली तो हाँ जी ते एक किसान हाँ. नहीं ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਤੇ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਭਰਮ ਪੈਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਅਡਾਨੀ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਮੀਨਾਂ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਬਜ਼ਾ ਕਰ ਲਾਂਗੇ. ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਫਸਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਐਗਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਹੋਣਾ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. ਐਮਐਸਪੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਖਤਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ. ਸਰਕਾਰੀ ਖਰੀਦ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੀ ਉਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣੀ ਹੈ. ਇੱਕ ਪੈਰਲਲ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ.
Surjit Kumar Jiani, a former minister in the former Chief Minister Prakash Singh Badal's cabinet, said,
ਇਹ ਬੜੀ ਝੂਠਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਗੈਂਡਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ। ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਨੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਝੂਠਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਗੈਂਡਾ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਲੈਣੀ, ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਦੀ ਅਗਰ ਕੋਈ ਨੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਅਗਰ ਕੰਟਰੈਕਟ ਫਾਰਮਿੰਗ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਫਸਲ ਦੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਕਿ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਦੀ ਹੋਣੀ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬੜਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਹੈ ਪੰਜਾਬ। ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਰਹੇਗੀ ਐਮਐਸਪੀ ਦੀ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਮੋਦੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕਹਿਤਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਐਮਐਸਪੀ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਐਮਐਸਪੀ ਤਾਂ ਰਹਿ ਹੀ ਰਹੇਗੀ, ਐਮਐਸਪੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੋੜਨੀ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਹੈ।
Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister Prakash Javadekar today said the work done by various agencies for controlling the pollution level in Delhi and adjoining states will be reviewed on 1st of October. Addressing an event in New Delhi, he said people of Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab face the problem of grim pollution levels in the winter season due to stubble burning. He said the central government, in collaboration with the state governments, started work in the year 2016 to provide relief to people from the pollution air shed. He informed that environment ministers of Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Delhi and Uttar Pradesh, along with other officials, will virtually participate in the meeting on 1st of October, wherein the review of all the work will be done. Listing out the various initiatives taken by the central government to reduce the pollution level in the country, Mr. Javadekar said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched the National Air Quality Index in 2016. He said Badarpur and Sonipat power plants have been phased out and peripheral expressway has been constructed. The minister added that BS6 compliant vehicles and various waste management rules also played an instrumental role in curbing the pollution level.
BS6 अब वाहन भी आ गए हैं और पिछले साल से ही तेल मिल रहा है BS6 ग्रेड का, इसलिए भी व्हीकलर पोल्यूशन में कमी आई है। हमने इलेक्ट्रिकल वाहनों को पुश किया, सब्सिडी दी। आज 3 लाख से अधिक वाहन देश भर में इलेक्ट्रिकल के आ गए, उसमें दिल्ली में बहुत ज्यादा मात्रा में है। ई रिक्शा भी आई है और इलेक्ट्रिकल 2 व्हीलर आए हैं, उससे भी प्रदूषण को रोकने में मदद होती है।
The country is registering a continuous increase in the number of patients recovered from COVID-19. With recovery of nearly 85,000 people in the last 24 hours, the total number of recovered patients in the country has crossed the 51 lakh mark. The overall recovery rate has now reached at 83.01%. Health Ministry has said that the gap between recovered cases and active cases is progressively growing wide. The constant increase in recoveries have ensured that the actual caseload of the country has reduced and currently comprises only 15.42% of the total positive cases. The number of recovered patients has overtaken the active cases by more than 5 times. Unprecedented surge in COVID recoveries with more than 100% increase in patients recovered and discharged in the last 1 month has also been reported. Health Ministry has informed that the sustained high recovery rate is fueled by 9 states and union territories reporting recovery rate of over 80%. These states include Bihar, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Rajasthan and Gujarat among others. Currently, India's case fatality rate stands at 1.57%. India has progressively maintained a low case fatality rate compared to the global average. In the last 24 hours, 70,589 new cases have been reported, taking the total number of positive cases reported in the country so far to 61,45,292. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 9,47,576. In the last 24 hours, 776 deaths have been reported, taking the toll to 96,318. Nearly 11,50,000 COVID samples were tested in the country in the last 24 hours. With a cumulative testing figure of over 7 crore 31 lakhs, India continues to be one of the countries across the world conducting the highest number of daily testings. Starting from just one testing lab at National Institute of Virology, Pune, in January this year, the country today has 1,836 labs for testing COVID samples. Despite increasing in testing, the positivity rate remains low and hovers around 8.4%. Bihar, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Manipur, Jharkhand and Telangana are among the states recording a positivity rate even lower than 5%.
The government has dismissed a report by a website which claims that the centre will provide 50,000 rupees to daughters of BPL families for marriage under Pradhan Mantri Balika Grant Yojana. In a tweet, Press Information Bureau termed the claim as fake. It clarified that the central government is not running any such scheme. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Namami Gange is the largest and comprehensive river conservation program with a new thinking and new approach. Prime Minister reassures MSP for crops will continue, emphasizes farm and labour reforms will empower workers, farmers, youth and women. India protests announcement of elections by Pakistan in Gilgit-Baltistan, asserts Gilgit-Baltistan is an integral part of India. Full Election Commission team to reach Patna this evening to review poll preparedness for upcoming Bihar Assembly elections. And COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.01%. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
All India Radio presents World News. News and views from across the globe. What happened? What is up next? The newsmakers and the highlights of the day. Every day at 10:20 p.m. in the night. On 100.1 FM, All India Radio. In Maharashtra's Sangli district, the police have launched a campaign, No Mask, No Ride, to contain the spread of coronavirus in the region. The campaign is part of the state government's My Family, My Responsibility, which was launched on the 15th of this month to control the surging pandemic. More in this report.
With rapid rise of COVID-19 cases in Sangli district, the administration has issued directives making mask mandatory while travelling in any kind of public transport, including buses and rickshaws. According to the directive issued by the police, anybody not wearing a mask will not be allowed to board the public transport. Deputy Superintendent of Police Ashok Virkar sought people's cooperation in making the campaign successful. He also warned of punitive actions against those who are found to violate the order. Sangli district yesterday recorded 550 new COVID cases, taking the total tally close to the 35,000 mark. With Devapriyo, this is Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
Odisha has reported a significant reduction in the new COVID-19 cases, with 3,067 positive cases reported today. Though the COVID-19 caseload has increased to 2,15,676, the cumulative recovery too has surged to 1,77,585. The state has already conducted more than 32 lakh sample tests so far.
After staying put on the higher side of 4,000 cases per day for more than 10 days at a stretch, the daily viral load of the state has witnessed a degrowth by about 1,000 cases today. Conversely, with 4,014 recovered cases, the daily recovery has also jumped over the daily infection discovery by about another 1,000 cases. While about half of the 30 districts of the state had been reporting 100 plus new cases for the last so many days, today the number of such districts has come down to only 6, including Khordha and Cuttack, the two top districts in terms of viral volume. Girish Chandra Das, Bhubaneswar.
Telangana reported 2,072 fresh COVID-19 cases during the last 24 hours, taking the number of cases reported so far in the state to 1,89,283. The recovery rate also slightly improved to 83.83%, with 2,259 more people recovering yesterday. This took the number of recovered people so far in the state to 1,58,690. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy has said the recent order to permit the students of the 10th and 12th standards to visit the schools to clear their doubts has been withdrawn. He reviewed the COVID-19 ground situation in the state with the district collectors through video conferencing. In the meeting, he said the state government has spent over 7,800 crore rupees in COVID-19 clinical management, preventive measures and on various welfare activities.
India has protested the announcement of elections to the so-called Gilgit-Baltistan Legislative Assembly by Pakistan. External Affairs Ministry today reiterated that Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, including the areas of so-called Gilgit-Baltistan, are an integral part of India by virtue of its accession in 1947. It said Pakistan government has no locus standi on territories illegally and forcibly occupied by it. New Delhi has also completely rejected the recent actions, such as the so-called Gilgit-Baltistan Elections and Caretaker Government Amendment Order 2020, and continued attempts by the Pakistan establishment to bring material changes in areas under its illegal and forcible occupation. It said actions such as these can neither hide the illegal occupation of parts of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh by Pakistan, nor the grave human rights violations, exploitation and denial of freedom to the people residing in Pak-occupied territories for the past 7 decades. India has called upon Pakistan to immediately vacate all areas under its illegal occupation. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will visit Tokyo on the 6th of October for bilateral consultations with his Japanese counterpart. The two ministers are expected to discuss bilateral and regional issues of mutual interest. During the two-day visit, the External Affairs Minister will also participate in the second India, Australia, Japan, USA ministerial meeting. The foreign ministers of all the 4 countries will discuss the post-COVID-19 international order and the need for a coordinated response to the various challenges emerging from the pandemic. They will also discuss regional issues and collectively affirm the importance of maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. Dr. Jaishankar will also hold bilateral consultations with the foreign ministers of Australia and the US during his visit.
Chief of Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal RKS Bhaduria today said the present security scenario along the northern frontiers is at an uneasy no war, no peace status. Referring to the prolonged border row with China in eastern Ladakh, Air Chief Marshal RKS Bhaduria said the Indian Air Force has responded to the situation with rapidity and is fully resolved to counter any misadventure in the region. Addressing a press conference, he said the recent induction of Rafale jets, along with previous acquisitions of C-17 Globemaster aircraft, as well as Chinook and Apache helicopters, have provided the Indian Air Force with substantial tactical and strategic capability enhancement. He said air power will be a crucial enabler in any future conflict. He emphatically said that IAF obtains and maintains technological edge over adversaries. On his maiden visit to Leh, the Minister of State for Home Affairs G. Kishan Reddy reviewed the border management in Ladakh region last night. Ladakh has a long line of actual control, LAC, which is guarded by the Himavids of Indo-Tibetan Border Police. Our correspondent tells us more.
Mr. Kishan Reddy was briefed by the senior ITBP officials about various activities they undertake as frontline defense on the line of actual control. Officials apprised the minister of the present situation on the LAC. Minister Kishan Reddy inquired in detail about the winter preparedness of ITBP in high altitude and hostile forward posts.
इस 5 साल के अंदर जितना रोड्स डाले 70 साल में नहीं हुआ है, उतना रोड्स हम डाले, अच्छे रोड्स डाले और कोई कमी नहीं होना चाहिए. उसका क्वार्टर्स हो, फैसिलिटीज हो, व्हीकल्स हो और सर्वेलेंस सिस्टम हो.
Mr. Kishan Reddy said that his ministry is providing all welfare and modernization facilities for better services on the border and inland as well. Ramesh Chandra, All India Radio News, Leh.
The full Election Commission EC team, led by Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora, is reaching Patna this evening to review the preparedness for the upcoming Bihar Assembly elections. The team will be on a 3-day tour to Bihar. The Chief Election Commissioner will be accompanied by Election Commissioners Sushil Chandra and Rajiv Kumar. Soon after his arrival at Patna, the Chief Election Commissioner will hold a review meeting with Bihar Chief Electoral Officer and nodal officers. Tomorrow, the Election Commission team will hold a meeting with representatives of different political parties. The team will also hold a review meeting with DMs and SPs of 26 districts in Patna. On Thursday, the EC team will go to Gaya, where a review meeting with DMs and SPs of 12 districts will be held. Before returning to Delhi on the 1st of October, the Chief Election Commissioner will hold a review meeting with the Chief Secretary, the Home Secretary and the Director General of Police. The Election Commission today announced the by-poll schedule for 1 Lok Sabha seat in Bihar and 56 assembly constituencies in other 11 states. The voting for 54 assembly seats in Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Odisha, Haryana, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and Nagaland will take place on the 3rd of November this year. The voting for Valmiki Nagar Lok Sabha seat in Bihar and 2 assembly seats in Manipur will be held on the 7th of November. The counting will take place on 10th of November. However, the Commission has decided not to announce by-elections at this stage in Assam, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal.
In Gujarat, 3 persons died and 1 injured after a building under construction collapsed at Bawamanpur area near Panigate in Vadodara late last night. The building was occupied by families of construction workers. Several persons were feared to be trapped in the debris. According to the fire brigade sources, the 3-story-old building was under renovation when the mishap occurred. Fire brigade staff rushed to the spot and started moving the debris, but later called in excavating machines to move the concrete slabs to rescue the trapped persons. Sources said that 4 persons were rescued from the debris and taken to SSG hospital. However, 3 of them succumbed to their injuries. The Madras High Court has directed the Tamil Nadu government to inform its stand on the reopening of the iconic beaches in Chennai, including the marina, by October the 5th. Hearing a PIL, the court said the issue falls into the policy domain of the state government and therefore it does not want to interfere. However, it asked the state government to clarify its stand on the matter.
Today is World Heart Day, aimed at drawing people's attention to heart ailments and the whole range of associated health issues. This initiative was launched in 2000 by the World Heart Federation as an annual event and gets celebrated on the 29th day of September ever since. In Indian Premier League cricket, Delhi Capitals will take on Sunrisers Hyderabad at Abu Dhabi this evening. Yesterday, Royal Challengers Bangalore skipper Virat Kohli hailed young pacer Navdeep Saini's brilliant super over that helped his side win the pulsating match against Mumbai Indians in Dubai last night. RCB defeated Mumbai Indians via super over after the original game was tied.
In Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, rainfall occurred at many places in the last 24 hours. The Met Department said it was due to the convection current and upper atmospheric circulation in the region. Annamalai Nagar in Kadalur district experienced a maximum of 13 centimeters of rain. The weather forecast says light to moderate rain is expected at isolated places along the coast today, with the possibility of heavy rain at isolated places in Pudukkottai, Shivagangai, Karur, Trichy and Salem. North coastal and northern interior districts of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry will see light to moderate rain tomorrow.
Now let us take a look at the weather today. The national capital Delhi will have clear sky. The minimum temperature was recorded at 24 degrees Celsius and the maximum is expected to be around 36 degrees. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 25 and the maximum will be around 32. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 26 and the maximum is likely to be 36. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature in the city was 26, while the maximum is expected to be around 34. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature in Jammu was 20, while the maximum will be around 35. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature was around 9 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 27 degrees. Leh in Ladakh will have mainly clear sky. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The minimum temperature was 11 and the maximum is likely to be 26. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 15 degrees Celsius and the maximum is likely to be 33 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Namami Gange is the largest and a comprehensive river conservation program with a new thinking and a new approach. Prime Minister reassures MSP for crops will continue. emphasizes farm and labor reforms will empower workers, farmers, youth and women. India protests announcement of elections by Pakistan in Gilgit-Baltistan. Asserts Gilgit-Baltistan is an integral part of India. Full Election Commission team to reach Patna this evening to review poll preparedness for upcoming Bihar Assembly elections. We now bring you a rendition of Bapu's favourite bhajan Vaishnav Janto, sung by artists from Bhutan.
Vaishnav Janto